Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and CIVIVI is releasing a few new knives this month, and I got my hands on two of them. Actually, I asked if I could try these out, and they were kind enough to send them to me, and that's because they're unusual. The first one I'm going to talk about here is called, I think it's pronounced the Vaquita 2, and what's unusual is it's a small neck knife that is actually a Kukri design. Now, Kukri goes by several names, is the official weapon of Nepal. And I was in Nepal earlier this year, and this is one that I brought home. You'd meet little tables with vendors all over the place, especially on the trekking trail up towards Everest Base Camp. But anyway, I picked this thing up for $1 or something, just wanted to help out a guy who was trying to sell his stuff. But anyway, this is a Kukri design, the official weapon of Nepal. Now, normally it would be obviously a much larger knife. That's how they make them, because they're designed as not only a weapon, because of this V shape here that actually causes the workpiece, which could be flesh or wood, to stay within the cutting edge as it centers itself. But also, it's a heavy mass knife, so it's great for chopping. Well, so why make a tiny one? Well, why not? I like this. It's a G10 handle here. It uses a Damascus steel blade, which is just beautiful. Razor sharp out of the box. Here's a piece of paper. You can see no problem slicing right through that. Now, as a Kukri knife, it's actually a well-known knife that sometimes is referred to as like a Gurkha knife or something. That's actually because the Gurkha troops would carry a Kukri. But it's a chopping knife. It actually has properties that are used in food prep as well. It's generally kind of like a machete. It usually has a look at the chest of this knife. From, this point to this point is the chest, with the spine, the blade, point, tip, etc. But right in here is just huge, usually compared to the rest of the knife. And they're also fairly thick, the full-sized ones, meaning there's a lot of mass, so it behaves almost like a hatchet or potentially a machete, something like that. Those would be its relatives. But anyway, it was kind of neat to see this thing. It was designed by Nate Matlack for CIVIVI. It's actually, an age-old design, maybe 7th century or even newer, or older, excuse me. It's appeared in the book Dracula as a weapon, but it comes with a Kydex sheath, a chain if you want to wear it as a neck knife. It's kind of interesting the way it fits into the hand. You'd almost think that there'd be a choil up here, to run your finger up a little further, but it hits right here. But this isn't sharpened right at the edge. Sometimes these knives that have the choil, or the last indexing point for your finger up against the blade, actually have the blade sticking straight up, which means that when you apply a little pressure, it sticks into your finger and could cut it. This one doesn't. And then it's got this ground down, I assume a thumb ramp. That's sure how it naturally feels. So it does operate very much like a regular fixed blade knife. Now, CIVIVI has explored this. Here's their kind of mini Elementum fixed blade, and I really like this. It's another neck knife. They even went really small with another design. Now, so a Kukri that weighs about 1.4 ounces, actually less than that, which, if you're wondering, go get your 16 millimeter snap-on 6.3/8 drive socket. That's what this thing weighs. That's about really close. In fact, that weighs just a little bit more. I'm trying to find a use for a 16. I just found one. But anyway, I thought I'd bring that to your attention. I do like that CIVIVI is exploring the different kinds of knives, even if they're not traditional, as in large knives, you'd wear on your belt. A chopping knife that weighs, under 1.5 ounces. The Damascus, really nice. It's more of an elegant knife. I put these kind of into EDC jewelry, but for food prep or for just kind of general enjoyment of a knife, something like this is great. And I've got another one here from CIVIVI that I'll do in a separate video, but you're going to want to see this guy. Anyway, with that, Doc out.